24th of July 2010, I stood before what had been my family home just outside Paris for almost a decade. The house was completely barricaded up. It was impenetrable, the windows and doors all barricaded. It was blisteringly hot and eerily quiet, I remember. I stood on the pavement in front of piles of my children's clothes, their toys, photographs, various pieces of furniture and kitchen equipment, glued to the spot, paralyzed with fear and overwhelming nausea. My children were gone, and I did not know where they were. Every mother's nightmare. And so ensued a journey of over 5 years, which took me from France to the Middle East, to the Hague Tribunal, to the UK, and back to France, 37 times over that period. It's been a roller coaster of immeasurable difficulties, punctuated with moments of hope and belief, an unfolding of priceless lessons which helped me break through barriers of fear and all its divergent forms. I believe that a thought is just a thought, and that we choose our thoughts, and that we are masters of our thoughts. In alignment with the universal law of duality, hot and cold, in and out, kind, unkind, good, evil, it's the idea where two extremities are either sides of the same coin, or if you like, a wide spectrum with each extremity on the same of that spectrum. And so it was for me in terms of blame or responsibility, victim or hero, looking for all escape routes or burning bridges with no possible eventuality of retreat. So I decided that I would be the hero of my story, that I would be responsible for everything I did, everything I didn't do, but particularly how I reacted to what was done to me. One of my biggest fears that I had to break through was the judgment and criticism that I may not be a good mother, or even worse, that I didn't love my children. But what I realized is that no one can make us feel inferior without our consent. And that actually what people think of me is none of my business. So the days went from weeks and the weeks to months and the months to years. And I learned to break the barrier of mind over mattress. Failure was inconceivable, unimaginable. And I was at a point where I had one weapon, one strength that overrode anything else. And that was the unconditional power of a mother's love. I believe that at the beginning of every new year, we feel really full of hope and enthusiasm and happiness. Do you agree? But let me tell you, this isn't a scoop. This year will probably be pretty much like last year, full of difficulty and opportunity. What I chose to understand was that actually difficulty can also be an opportunity. an opportunity to break through the habits of negative thoughts that do not allow us to have a better life for ourselves and the people that we love. I also read that for every failure, it has its seed of its equivalent success. So I thought to myself, wow, with this huge failure in my life, I am surely destined for greatness. So I was able to trick my mind into believing that this was something that I could turn into a positive. Maybe the struggle itself was necessary in order to be able to break through those barriers of thought. I love the story of the man who finds a young butterfly still imprisoned in its own chrysalis, struggling to break free. And the man takes pity on the poor creature and breaks the chrysalis open, hoping to ease the passage of the butterfly into its freedom. But unfortunately, when the chrysalis is open, the butterfly falls to the ground and it dies, because it needs the struggle to be able to grow the strength in its wings to break free. And just as I had to, with my struggle, strengthen my wings, which enabled me to break through the negative patterns of my internal dialogue and mental images. Maybe my willingness to learn or my willingness to change was what served me most. Because I believe that when we want to change and we are willing to change, we can focus all our energy on building the new and not fighting the old. And in fact, during that time as well, I built a brand new business which now expands over 4 continents. I had this idea in my mind. I wanted to build something to provide for my family when it was reunited. I promise you there were challenges every day, and I had to drill really, really deep in order to push that boulder up the hill. And there were times when I faltered, and times when I had to stop and draw breath, but I never lost my resolve, because my fuel was a burning desire to reunite my family. The juice of belief is the fuel of life. Gratitude is the antidote to all feelings of lack. Even when the horizon is looking gloomy and we still feel that that boulder is a very long way off the top of the hill. I have learned that one of the things that we must do is always focus on the now, because the point of power is always in the present moment. I chose to break through my mental prison of self-righteousness with resentment and set myself free with forgiveness. Now, I have also found that quantum leaps of progress, well, that doesn't really happen. I would say it's more like incremental change on a daily basis that allows us to really take control of our thoughts. I love the expression, we must take control of self, otherwise self will control us. So, as a starter, I thought about what I wanted people to say about me at the end of my life, or what I wanted to be able to say about my life, to find my purpose. Start with the end in mind. And that vision served as a gravitational pull towards excellence and servant leadership. I also surrounded myself with people who fanned my flame, who believed in me, who supported me, who applauded me, and who picked me up and kicked me up the backside when I was having a pity party. And then finally, the power of journaling. Writing every day. My thoughts, my fears, my hopes, my aspirations, my visions. What I was wanting to create. Because I know that I am the creator of my own reality. and that every single reality that we create starts with a thought. So, why was it important to journal? Well, I love the saying that the strongest thought is weaker than the weakest ink. And that power of journaling every day gives us hindsight, and it gives us strength to move forward towards what really we seek to create. So, it's been a journey of immeasurable difficulties, punctuated with moments of incredible joy. One of the breaking of the barriers of beliefs that I used to tell myself, and I still do, out of this situation only good will come. And sometimes a gift is very badly wrapped up and, excuse me, it's not very appealing, and it doesn't really give us, we don't really want to open it, but sometimes when we do unwrap that thing that's offered to us, we find that underneath it is a gift. So, when we work towards breaking through the barriers of fear, self-limiting beliefs, with vision and perseverance, we can then truly become the magnificent, luminous and powerful human beings that we are meant to be. We can be the change in the world that we want to see. And as we do that, we reveal our own potential to ourselves, our mission and our why, so that we can have a life of joy, purpose and contribution. Thank you.